It's surprisingly easy because you can see everything, get to everything, and with a little planning, not make too much of a mess.
We're driving to PDK now to pick up some oil that we can have in reserve to do our oil changes over the summer. It's not as simple as just going to buy the oil that you plan to use in the oil change. There's a little bit more that goes into it.
If you want to make the drive one time.
If you want to make the drive one time.
The plane holds 8 quarts, and somewhere around 6.5 to 7 quarts seems to be the sweet spot for this particular engine. If we allocate 9 quarts per oil change, that allows us to change the oil and then have some in reserve, because we typically will add a half a quart at a time. You could add a whole quart if you're going on a longer trip. So if we buy a little bit more than we would need on 1 or 2 oil changes, we can get it a little cheaper. That helps. And then the oil filters, I've determined, are designer oil filters. They must be, because they're $30 a piece. So we'll pick up probably 4 of those. We've got one at home, so hopefully we won't be making this drive but one time. The beauty of it, I mean, is it gives you the opportunity to save an awful lot of money, and it saves you time if you have the ability to do it yourself. Because if you don't, then you take it to wherever you take the aircraft to get it worked on. Typically that requires an appointment. Typically that won't get done immediately. So if that's at another airport where it's inconvenient, that means fly it over, have somebody pick you up, and then when they're done, have that same somebody take you back to the airport so you can fly the airplane home. So anyway, it's just easier if you can do it yourself. Plus, as with cars, to me, even though I'm not an expert on engines by any stretch, but it is nice, like with a car, to stick your head under the hood every once in a while and just look at things. And with an airplane, there's no better time to do that than after you have wrestled the cowling off. We'll poke around and look and see if anything else needs attention. Most everything under there you can't do anything with, but as an owner, but there are some things you can.
The next step after the cowling coming off is for us to prepare the drip pan below,
so we don't make a mess.
Don't make a mess.
I have my oil change shirt on, the one with the hole in it. My oil change pants, the one with a few spots on it. Oil change shoes, which don't look too bad. But it's okay, if you don't have any oil change clothes, you can change oil with any clothes you have. And almost guaranteed, the next time you will have oil change clothes. Loosen the dipstick.
So there's no vacuum so that the water or the oil can drip out.
This is a good way to do it if you're not in a hurry.
Step number 2, don't be in a hurry.
That's right.
We've waited probably about 30 minutes with the oil dripping into the drip pan. So we're ready to continue on with the oil change. And the next step after draining the oil from the system at the sump is to cut the safety wiring above the oil filter itself so that we can unscrew the filter and pull it out. Because when we pull out the filter still has oil inside of it too.
Okay, get it started. There it is. That's all it takes.
Yep, it's coming out steady. Maybe there's less oil in the filter.
And it's less hot to handle.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's that.
A little oil on my finger. Like that. And then what we're going to do, of course, we will hand snug it. And once we have that, we will take this and just a bit to where it feels right. Right there. Not too much, but certainly it's got to be enough.
We're going to reattach the safety wire. I have a special tool which is designed for the safety wire. Something to consider is that I want to mount the safety wire onto a secure part of the airplane and run it as tautly as I can and to prevent this from twisting off during flight. And I'm no mechanic. Now with these two spare parts, I'm going to work this guy over here. There we go. And I'm going to pull him so he's nice and taut. I'm just going to do the same thing I just did. And twist them on up. Looks nice and tight to me. Call that good. Clip off the extra in case vibration causes the safety wire to run near one of our electrical wires. I wouldn't want that to cut anything, so it won't. And now, I'm going to bend it down some, and we have safely reattached the wire. But there is one additional place to check. During an oil change is a second place you could look. It's a second sump opening to drain some extra oil. It's right here. And so I'm going to have to cut the safety wire, and then we're going to have to take a wrench to this thing and open it up. And I'm no mechanic.
So this screen can be gummed up easily, and we want to be sure it's actually...
Doesn't look too bad to me.
No, it doesn't. So the good news is that it is not gummed up. Now here we go. Let's try it again. Yes. Okay. Now that I got my hand in here.
Title 14 CFR Part 43.3 says that the holder of a pilot certificate issued under Part 61 may perform preventative maintenance on any aircraft owned or operated by that pilot, which is not used under Part 121, 129, or 135 of this chapter. Basically, that's airlines and air charter.
Right. Okay.
Part 43.9 pertains to content, form, and disposition of maintenance, preventative maintenance, rebuilding, and alteration records. And it says that each person who maintains, performs preventative maintenance, rebuilds, or alters an aircraft, airframe, engine, or component part shall make an entry in the maintenance record containing the following information: a description of work performed, the date of completion of the work performed, the name of the person performing the work, and the signature, certificate number, and kind of certificate held by the person approving the work. And that signature is legal and constitutes the approval for the aircraft's return to service. You can find a list of approved preventative maintenance work in 14 CFR Part 43, Appendix A, Subpart C.
Plane holds 8 quarts, and somewhere around 6.5 to 7 quarts seems to be the sweet spot.
Remember to count out loud for these. Remember last time we were like, how many did we do? Oh, you got them lined up? Yeah. It's kind of mundane and it takes a little while.
Yep, 917. Boy, that is some clean looking stuff there. It's almost hard to tell where it is on the dipstick. It's so clean. We're going to take care of that after the first hour.
You might not think about what to do with all the dirty oil after you've finished. Thankfully, there's an easy cleanup that's also good for the environment. Just transfer all the dirty oil from your drip pan into some containers that you can transport. Once full, carry them to your local hardware store, where the professionals likely have a means to dispose of oil. Just like that, huh? Maybe 60, 70 minutes of work if you have the time to do it. Then you, my friend, have just earned some free fuel for your next adventure. Where have you been in the last 25 hours? More importantly, where do you think you'll go next? What will you see? Who will you be?